Evening people, welcome back to the channel. Special one-off for you lot tonight. We've got team versus team tonight. We've got the new Amigos race team versus P1RC versus MRC. So, nothing known about Amigos Racing. I have just joined their group just to get myself in, give them a quick hello. Evening people, how you all doing? So let me just pull you up a little bit of information about this one tonight. So it is a one-off event, and it is just for the, where's that gone? There we go. It is just for the Amigo Racing boys to pretty much show their heads. Like I say, I think it's quite a new sim racing team for the majority of the guys that we know. So it's a three-way battle, as I say, ART, Amigos Race Team versus P1RC or P1 Race Community, and MRC or Mature Racing Club. Let's just have a flick over drivers. A bit of a strange one tonight. It's an endurance, but we've got a 12-minute qualifier which we have not started yet. So Simo 119 for ART Elite Digits also for ART, P1 for P1, White Shark for MRC, P1 Gamer Dad for P1, MG Jason for MRC, Johnny, I think he's ART, ESR Idol for MRC, ADG for MRC, Mocking Weeks for P1, P1 Reg for P1, Seth F1 for ART, ART Backspace for ART, P1 Don for P1, and CJW Racing in the house. So they're the teams. We are live from Dragon Trail Gardens tonight. Awkward little track, this one. I quite like it myself. I like all the Dragon Trail layouts, to be perfectly honest. So yes, we've got a 12-minute qualifier. I don't know why they decided on that one. And then we jump into an hour-long endurance. We are in the Gr3 Porsche 911. Tyre wear is set at times 4 and fuel is set at times 2. So strategies are going to play a part. They can use any tyre throughout this race, but they do have to use at least 2 different compounds. So make sure you don't forget, and I'll be trying to keep my eye on that a little bit. Not that I might actually see anything, but we'll see. The general rules apply, so clean racing all around. If you knock someone off, give them the place back or incur a penalty at the end of the race. So yeah, a couple of guys just practicing their starts, but I think we're not far off starting qualifying. We have got everybody in the room. Let me just give them a shout, tell them we're live so they know. Let's get the old Who've we got in the house tonight? Got 4 people watching, nobody chatting. Not that I'll be keeping up with it during the race, so you've got to get it in now or it'll be done and dusted. Right, so share that. In there, into that one, in you as well. Have some of that, you can have it, and that. Yeah, why not? You can have some of that as well. That's it. Phil Gibb, how you doing, my friend? Doing alright in the minis, ain't you? Who's that burning my eardrums out trying to do their starts? One of the P1 boys by the look of it. Things are going alright for me, Mr. Gibb. Things are going alright. I've got a coffee in front of me. I've got half a bottle of brown fizzy pop. I'm good. Settled in, ready for this one. Should be an interesting race. A 1 hour enduro in these Porsches. We've not actually started quali yet. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I thought it was 8:30 they were going to kick quali off. Maybe they're waiting for 1 or 2 people. Starting 2 minutes, he says. Bags, evening, how you doing, mate? Yeah, no problem, Bags, no problems. Is it me and you on Tuesday as well with MRC boys? Is that us versus them on Tuesday? Is that another punch up you lot are having? Yeah, so welcome to all the ART boys if they're listening in. Like I say, I don't think many of us lot know much about your sim racing group. I assume, looking at your numbers, you're quite new or just very niche. So yes, a 1 hour endurance, 12 minutes qualifying. Baggy, come on. Who decided 12 minutes qualifying? It's a bit of a random time, that is. Right, so we are into proper qualifying then. Good job everybody's in the room. So the difference being that actual qualifying means that once it starts, like now, if you were late to the party, you wouldn't be able to get in. A lot of drivers like to keep it in the old style practice session and then just run the race from fastest first. As we have had a lot of issues with these qualifying sessions causing trouble in the actual race. Right. Let's go for a little quick lap on board with, oh my god, my son has stolen my keyboard. This is not good, people. So into this first chicane we are on board with Don. Got to be careful of those curbs, those sausages. So down is quite long straight, little kick to the left, drops down the hill. He's slamming hard on the brakes just as he gets to this curb here for this. Oh, he's just letting off a little bit early. This is only an outlap. So into this hairpin, cutting all that apex. Be careful not to run it out wide on the exit. And through this little chicane, chuck it down a gear through the right-hander. Is he going to chuck it down a gear? He's not really driving fast enough to... He has chucked it down a gear through the left-hander and down to what I commonly call the pentagon. It's not, but it's a bit awkward, so it's 4 right-hand corners in a row, all of varying degrees. And you have to take a slightly different approach to each one. So I think it's a lift, brake, lift, press, I think, or something. I can't remember the combination. Ah, okay. They chose the 12 minutes qualifying. Okay, a bit random, but never mind. It doesn't actually give you boys a lot of time on track. Keyboard options on. Not that I need them at the minute because my son has nicked my keyboard, like I say. I'm just going to try. I've got one option here. I've got Alienware, but it has got 2. Nope, that's not going to work. Right, we're not having that then. So I might just have to go AFK for a minute just to go and steal my keyboard back. I am still fighting with my PC. Me and my boy have had it in bits and put back together today. Still causing issues. So let's stick ourselves on board with... There you go, some onboard ESR idle just while I disappear AFK 25 seconds. Turns, keyboard in hand. That's enough of you ESR idle. Right, lap time starting to come in then. P1 Dylan currently top spot, 130.0. P1 Don, another P1 driver, 130.5. In the red livery Porsche tonight. There's those sausage curves you've just got to be careful of as well, I was just mentioning. White Shark Jim, fastest of the MRC drivers currently, 130.6. It's only a 10th behind Don's time. Seth F1, for Amigos in the blue and yellow, 130.7, so only less than a tenth back for Seth F1 between himself and White Shark. So the MRC boys rocking a black, silver and green livery. P1 boys rocking the red Porsche, or red and black Porsche. And the Amigos rocking the blue and yellow. So they're team colours tonight. So I've got some old haunts to commentate over. My friend ADG. This man actually getting a few props from me. He's kind of the guy that got me started out in all this commentating business. And here I am commentating over the top of him. So he's sitting in 6th at the minute. Let's run through a quick position rundown. 7 minutes gone of quali. P1 Dylan still holding that top spot. Don in 2nd, White Shark Jim in 3rd, Seth F1 coming in for a fresh set of tyres in 4th. Walking Weeks in 5th, ADG 6th. He's got that 131.0. Elite Digits is on a 131.1 as well. Here's our idol for MRC, 131.4. Gamer Dad for P1, 131.5. So still quite close. 131.7 for Backspace. Sitting in 10th. Simo for Amigos in 11th, 132.3. Reg GT 12th with the 132.5. We've got Jonesy X, 133.5 for Jonesy. MG Jason, so no actual hot lap on the board, but 136.5 is his fastest. And then our friend CJW Racing also does commentary, and funnily enough he got into commentary on the back of me doing commentary, so 3 almost generations of commentators. It's not, if you know what I mean, but it's a string. It's ADG that got me into it, and me that got CJ into it. CJ struggling a little bit at the minute, 140.8 is his fastest. He might be having internet issues for CJ, giving us a little wiggle. Running by a mobile phone tonight. So Dylan still holds top spot, putting in little purple sectors as well, just as we flick over to him. Headed down towards this awkward pentagon section. Let's go on board through here. So yeah, just a little coast through the first one. Sort of a coast press almost. I suppose a lot of it depends on what car you're in as well. Can be an awkward turn, that one. You may see 1 or 2 drivers go for moves through there, but it will be very, very tricky. Double apex final turn as well. You may see 1 or 2 drivers go for moves through there. Turn 1, very easy to make a mistake, even though it's almost a one-way through. It's easy just to run yourself a little bit too wide, allow the driver to sneak up down the inside. There's a few overtaking places on this track, coming up to this chicane as well. If you manage to get yourself down the inside at turn 1, the advantage into the chicane there. But then if you don't get this one, you've always got the run down towards the hairpin. Ghost Realm, evening, how you doing? So Ghost Realm and Baggy in the house giving the P1 boys a shout. I'm not sure who Phil Gibbs behind. Whether he's behind MRC, P1 or ART, I'm not sure. So we're still holding those top 2 positions for the MRC boys. MG Jason then just sticking himself into 3rd, 130.5, so pushes teammate White Shark Jim down a position. Also gone quicker, 130.7, 3 pit laps in a row from Mockin. He gets himself up into 5th. Seth F1, the fastest of the Amigos drivers at the minute, sitting himself in 6th, 130.7. So just over half a second back from current pole sitter. John Wilson in the house for Amigos. So still in qualifying at the minute, John. We've got just under 3 minutes remaining. CJ's the only one I know, so I guess he's back in Team MRC. Fair enough. Just here for some racing. Well, I'm sure you'll see it tonight in these slightly loose rear-wheel drive Porsches, mid-engine. CJ actually getting himself up into 7th, 130.8. What's in it? A bit of damage on the front end of that Porsche, CJ. But 7th nonetheless. ADG in 8th, also driving for Team MRC. Now 9th, the SR Idol just sneaking in there, getting himself into 8th position. Also driving for Team MRC, 130.8. So that pushes elite digits down to 10th on that 131. Not managed to better that second lap time. GT struggling a little bit. Lap 4, 131.1. P1 Gamer, 131.2. Jonesy in 13th, 131.7 for Amigos. Backspace 14th for Amigos. 15th for Amigos with Simo. So a minute and a half left of quali. I'm not too sure how they'll play it, whether they'll allow drivers to finish the laps off they're on, or whether they'll cut it off bang on the 12 minutes. It's entirely down to lobby host. Nice pint, food and smoker. Great Saturday night. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. I should do more Saturday nights. Less during the week, more weekend stuff. Probably get more watchers. But the P1 boys are still holding those top 2 spots. We've got MRC in 3rd, 4th, P1 in 5th. Amigos 6th, MRC 7th, MRC 8th, MRC 9th, Amigos 10th, Amigos, P1 11th, P1 12th, Amigos 13th, Amigos 14th and Amigos 15th at the minute. So the P1 boys have got a couple of drivers up front, a couple of drivers in the middle and a couple of drivers at the back. That would make 6 drivers, but you know what I mean. There's only 5 drivers in the team. The MRC boys have got a big wedge of drivers all in the front, all in the middle. And at the minute, the ART boys are just struggling a little bit. Who's their top driver? Still 6th place, Seth F1. They're getting a bit of a toe down towards the hairpin off those drivers in front. That is it. We have run over the timer, so I think they are going to get 2 minutes 40 to actually finish off laps, etc, etc. No, you can't. That's you can't do that, can you? Ghost rail doesn't work. Get told off. So wait for these guys to finish off all these laps, and then we jump into this 1 hour enduro. Let's see how everyone gets off the line. P1 Dylan, obviously happy with his lap, crossed the line. Same for P1 Don, mocking weak, still running fast. He's just coming down this start-finish straight. Stay on board with him. Oh, it looks like it's not a quick lap. He's given a bit of a wiggle down the start-finish straight. So who have we got? I think just one more driver to come across the line. All the drivers running at a slow pace now. Oh, that was it. So I'm never going to get through these grid positions, I'll tell you that now. JPH, how you doing? P1 boys, I've got a pile of drivers up front. Mocking Weeks actually getting himself into 3rd at the end of qualifying then. So P1 boys have got 1st, 2nd, 3rd on the grid. MRC 4th. Seth F1 actually getting himself up into 5th place at the end of qualifying. So it moves up another position. So you can just see the lights in the top left. They're on. Revs it up. Let's see how they all get off the line. away now. Good start by Dylan and Mocking Weeks. Big pile of smoke for the pair of them though. Heading down towards turn 1 then. Comfortably through there. Let's get ourselves a little bit further back and just see if there's any chaos into the chicane or a little bumping and a barging between the two Amigos teammates. Right, so it might be chaos into the hairpin as well, so let me go back up front and just keep an eye on that. P1 Dylan still leading the way then. P1 Don hot on his tail. Let's get some gubbins up. White Shark Jim managing to get himself back into third. CJW Racing having a great start, getting himself up into fourth. MG Jason 5th position. What has happened to Mocking Weeks? I can't even see him on screen. Seth is in 6th. He's under a bit of pressure from Backspace in 7th. And another teammate for the Amigos in 8th. Oh, Backspace just run himself wide onto the sand. Is it a clean entrance back on? It is. Almost clattered into his teammate, who sneaks down the inside. Then Jonesy up into 7th. Backspace 8th. P1 Reg GT looking to get down the inside there, but unable to do that. Comes firing up this back straight now for Reg GT, looking to get himself down in between ADG and Backspace there. Some great driving between Reg GT and AD, side by side around that final turn. Still side by side down this start finish straight. Ah, where is he? There he is. So Reg GT just getting the advantage through there, but ADG keeps his composure, comes back down the inside as they head down towards the chicane. So slots himself back up into 9th, and now he's on the back end of Backspace. Oh, gets a little bit squiffy across those curbs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you've got to be careful of those. So he's got the two Amigos drivers in front of Backspace and Jonesy, looking to close down on them. Yeah, he's picked up a penalty for that off-track action as well as ADG. Tries to drop it as he comes into the hairpin. Does so pretty cleanly. So there's Mocking Weeks all the way down in 11th. So I'm not sure what happened to Mocking, but not a great start for him. He's under a bit of pressure from Simo in 12th at the minute. ESR Idol down in 13th, so not having a great start either. Elite Digits is in 14th, putting on a bit of pressure for ESR Idol. P1 Gamer Dad now sitting at the back of the pack in 15th. Not only 1.2 seconds off, so the driver's still quite tightly packed. Back out front, P1 Don, P1 Dylan still holding those top 2 spots. White Shark Jim has still got himself in a good position in 3rd. Still got himself just tucked under that rear wing of Dylan. So on board with P1 Don, rolling in 1st place. We can look back at P1 Dylan and White Shark Jim as we head down towards the chicane. Hard on the brakes. Into the first left-hander, through the right-hander. Again, being careful of those sausage curbs. You can see how much it lifted White Shark Jim's car up. He spun it, he smashed it. Oh, White Shark Jim in the background. You could see, just caught that curb. Lifted the rear end of that car up, lost him traction, he couldn't turn it in enough, spun himself round and fired himself into the wall. That has given these top 2 drivers a little bit of breathing room now. It's a shame for White Shark. So what's the gap now between Dylan and MG Jason? Now 1.9 seconds. The next contender for the MRC boys, and then we've got CJW Racing. He's up to 4 through that mistake. Seth F1 into 5th, still quite close, these two as 3 as well. So Jonesy up into 6, ADG 7th. Still really tight between these 3. P1 Reg GT 8th. Mocking Weeks just bolted onto the back end of this little fight as well in 9th. Managed to drop the attacking Simo 119 in the background. So White Shark does get himself back on track, pointing the right way, but he's now down in 11th position, so a lot of work to do for White Shark. Still 55 minutes remaining. ESR Idol actually getting himself back up a spot, so he's into 12th. Elite Digits 13th. P1 Gamer getting himself up in position as well, and backspace now down at the back of the pack for Amigos. Still not that far off the back of the pack though. It's not as if anyone's been left behind yet, although the field just starting to spread out now. P1 Don and P1 Dylan still neck and neck between the two P1 race team drivers. MG Jason losing a bit of time, 2.2, nearly 2.3 seconds down now. Seth managed to get himself past CJW. So up into fourth for the Amigos driver. CJ just keeping it on the black stuff in the background behind. Awkward turn, that one. Some good liveries on the cars. You can definitely tell which teams are which is always good to see. And I believe a lot of these MRC drivers have been thrown in a little bit blind. The team they did have lined up, all of a sudden wasn't lined up, and there's been a lastminute.com call, I think today, the drivers for this one. CJ being one of those, chucked himself in, ADG as well. I'm not too sure which of the other team members were part of the original setup. But yeah, oh, Seth running a little bit wide, that's given CJ the advantage, chucks himself up the inside into the hairpin. Yeah, Seth just happened to drop himself off the power to keep that in a straight line. Still coming back at CJ, but I'm not sure if there was contact. Yeah, I think so. So CJ back on track. Seth obviously slowing down to give him that position back. So a tiny bit of contact through the second part of that chicane, but some good respectful driving. Seth, knowing he's knocked CJ off track, has given him the position back. That's good, that's what we want to see. But it's still on between these two. Unfortunately, it does happen when there's close, tight racing like this. It takes a slight microsecond of miscalculation on your braking or your turning. The driver behind is not necessarily expecting you to brake or turn at that point, and kablamo. It could be both of your races over and done with. Damage is only on light in this one, so no trip to the pits required. Seth trying to make a move down the inside. He's got the run. CJ's run himself wide. He's going to go for a better run on the exit. But Seth actually gets himself back up into fourth. CJ might have just let him do that and then used the toe down the start finish straight to slingshot himself back past down into turn one and back down to the hairpin. There we go. Not quite able to do it through there. Carrying quite enough speed, so Seth F1 holds on to that top fourth position. Let's just go and see what's happening up front. A little bit of a gap developed between the two P1 drivers. 3/4 of a second just over between Don and Dylan. Still over 2 seconds between third place, second and third place, MG Jason. Seth F1 then holding on to that fourth. So he's out on the super softs as well as Seth, so be interested to see how long they last. They're not doing too bad a job against CJ's racing softs. I would expect to see the softs last a little bit longer. The super soft should start falling off the cliff at any second. So ADG holding on to sixth, hunting down his teammate MRC CJW Racing. Jonesy just in the background, seventh position, under a bit of pressure for that position though by Mocking Weeks in eighth. Unfortunately, Mocking Weeks, I'm not too sure what happened to him, but he was third on the grid. And something happened, he ended up in 11th, but piling the pressure on Jonesy at the minute. So will he be able to get a good tow? He's already got his nose down the inside actually. So into turn one, Jonesy tries to let it run. Mocking Weeks is fully aware of that, slots himself in. Jonesy looked to come back down the inside into the chicane, but I think Mocking Weeks was just carrying a little bit too much speed. Oh, turning the camera the wrong way. So into the chicane then. This is where we've just seen White Shark Jim get it all wrong. Those big sausage curbs causing all sorts of chaos. So can Jonesy use the toe down the hill into the hairpin? Might just be a little bit too far back. Mocking Weeks chucks his car into the centre of the track. You can see that attack coming. Just defends the inside line there, making it as difficult as he can for Jonesy. So Mocking in 7th, then Jonesy in 8th. This fight looked like it might carry on for a few laps more. Red GT into 9th, Simo 10th, Backspace into 11th, ESR Idol 12th, P1 Gamer Dad 13th. Oh, Art Elite Digits. I'm not sure if there's contact between himself and White Shark, but Elite Digits has ended up in the wall. Gets himself back on track, but he's now way off the pace. Oh, he's put the hammer down too much, trying to get the speed back up on that Porsche. Spun the rear end up again. He's in threat of doing it again if he keeps stamping his throttle like that. He's trying. Oh, so that is Elite Digits way down the pack now. Still, only 12 minutes gone of this race, 48 left. Quite surprised how still packed up they are in the back half of the grid. P1 Don continues to lead nice and comfortably, pulled a little bit more time over his teammate, 1.2 seconds over P1 Dylan. MG Jason still holding on to that 3rd position, but he's lost over a second now, 3.2 seconds back. Seth holding on to that 4th position, he's managed to drop CJW Racing, 1.9 seconds the gap between those two. ADG in the background, still under pressure, Mocking Weeks actually right up on his tail. So ADG under threat from the P1 driver. ADG, seasoned racer, keeps himself over to that left-hand side. He knows the attack's coming. Mocking Weeks just trying to let it run around the outside there. ADG is giving him plenty of space. He's able to keep the speed up as well. There's not a lot ADG can do about that. He's got no slipstream down here at the minute. Can he just hold his nose down the inside into turn 1? He might just do it. ADG might get the run back into the chicane. Oh, he's just backed out. It's a good effort by ADG. Make another run down the hill to the hairpin. Again, Mocking Weeks just putting his car in the middle of the track as he did last lap. He's going to make ADG run around the outside if he's going to go for this position. Again, side by side through the apex, just backing out. Unfortunately, that's going to put him under pressure now from Jonesy. Jonesy getting a good run through that hairpin. Now it's Jonesy that slots himself through into 6th. ADG gets pushed down into 7th. Oh, sorry, it's not Jonesy, it's Seth F1, apologies. Coming for another set of boots. ADG's just run himself wide, gets himself back on track, but now he puts himself under pressure from Jonesy. Oh, he tries to go defensive, but he's not carrying enough speed. Jonesy just sneaks through to take 7th. ADG losing a couple of positions there. A lot of wear on his super softs at the minute. I expect to see him in the pits anytime soon. Losing a lot of time at the minute, 80. So Red GT into 9th. White Shark Jim back up into 10th position. Oh, he's run himself wide a little bit through the final turn. Kept that position, but put himself under a bit of pressure from, I was going to say Backspace, but Backspace chucks himself in the pits. So it comes under a little bit of pressure from teammate ESR Idol, but ESR Idol yet to pit. Simo just coming down this start finish straight, 13th, he's pit. P1 Gamer Dad hot on his tail. Be careful, these two teammates don't have a coming together. Backspace and Simo. So Backspace comes out of the pits, retains his 12th. Simo 13th. But now he got this exit of the chicane a little bit wrong. Does that give Gamer Dad a bit of a run? He's carrying the extra speed, but again nowhere to go. Stay bolted onto the back end of Simo there. Nowhere for him to go through here without a mistake from the driver in front. Still going quite defensive, Simo. I think he's worried about having a lunge down into one of these turns. So is Gamerdad able to close up again into these final couple of turns, or is he going to leave it to the start-finish straight again? Through the race, we've still got some good battles raging. Drivers in the pits. That's going to throw the order all over the place. But the P1 boys are still out, still up front. P1 Don 1.2 seconds, now 1.3 seconds over teammate P1 Dylan. Put in another 10th just around that turn, and 1.4. So they've now got 4 seconds over MG Jason. All three of those drivers, apologies. I thought all three drivers were out on the softs, but they're not. P1 Don's on the softs. Dylan's gone for a set of super softs. G Jason is on the softs. CJW Racing got himself back past Seth. Again, yet to stop. Almost running it wide through there. Seth looking for a run down into the Pentagon. Oh, CJ's run himself wide. Seth sneaks through again. CJ going defensive. Expect to see CJ come in the pits probably this lap. He's losing a bit of time on those softs. That'll put him way out of the fight with 4th place Seth. See if my predictions are right. Nope, he's going to stop out for another one, is CJ. He wants that position back on warm tyres. So Mocking Weeks back up into 6th, Reg GT 7th. Mocking Weeks just putting in a fastest lap of the race, 1:30.648 there. So fresh set of super softs for Mocking. Just in the background there, Reg GT getting murdered by drivers, so he's yet to stop, and he's just been overtaken by Jonesy, and he's under a load of pressure from White Shark Jim for that position. Both of those drivers have stopped. Side by side for the 2 Porsches running down the hill down towards this hairpin. White Shark Jim's easily got the advantage into this turn. Fresher tyres. So GT pushed down into 9th, then ADG back out the pits on a fresh set of super softs. He's into 10th. Backspace in 11th, also fresh set of super softs. Simo in 12th. So he stopped a couple of laps ago on a reasonably worn set of softs. ESR idle, fresh set of super softs for him in 13th. He's just come out of the pits on those as well. So I'm sure he'll be able to get up close and personal with Simo in the next lap. Gamerdad 14th, he's out on a fresh set of softs as well, and Art Elite Digits is in 15th after that terrible Pentagon moment. Now way off the pace, quite a beaten up set of super softs as well. So Reg GT is in the pits now. So I would expect to see Don and Dylan probably in. MG Jason's come in. So that's allowed Seth F1 back through to 3rd, 7.2 second gap between himself and 2nd place. Purple sectors though, he has actually put himself in a purple lap at 1:30.3, so snatching that fastest lap off of Mocking Weeks. So pops MG Jason down into 4th after his late stop. Mocking Weeks 5th. 4.9 back from MG Jason. Mocking Weeks did qualify in 3rd, had a terrible first lap, ended up in 11th. So starting to come together for Mocking Weeks. Only 20 minutes gone of this race, 40 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for Mocking Weeks to push his way back through this field. See through the drivers in front, that's MG Jason and Seth F1 just climbing up the hill. Jonesy 1.7 behind Mocking as well. He's under a bit of pressure from CJW, who's been in the pits. So start to push now again for his second stint. Applying that pressure onto Jonesy. White Shark Jim got himself back up into 8th, but he'll have to stop pretty soon again. A lot of wear on those softs. ADG 9th, he's under pressure from backspace. Chris is quick tonight. So backspace looking to pile that pressure on ADG. A little bit of a gap developed now though. HGT into 11th, he's also done a late stop. ESR idle 12th, again late stopping for ESR. Simo in 13th, Gamer Dad 14th. 4.6 seconds back, and there's a massive gap back to poor old Elite Digits. 31 seconds back now. So Don, been in the pits, back out, holds on to top spot. Dylan has dropped himself back into this fight in 4th. I'm sure if Dylan's taken on a little bit of fuel as well actually. Maybe looking to run to the end of the race for Dylan, whereas P1 Don may have to do a tiny bit of a splash and dash at the end. Yeah, he's running the super soft as well, so they'll wear out a bit quicker than the softs. So expecting them to come in, so possibly not bothering putting in fuel on this stop. Wait till the next stop for him. He's currently holding just under a second lead from Seth F1. Again, he's on the super softs. He's been out on those a few laps as well. So quite worn out. In the background, MG Jason under all sorts of pressure from Dylan. Let's get on board with P1 Dylan as he hunts down MG Jason for that third. Closing in as he heads down towards the Pentagon. Keeps it nice and calm through there. Chops off a lot of that curb, doesn't settle him a little bit through that third one. Not that much, he'll still be within towing distance of the driver in front. So, just in front of these two. Okay, Seth F1 chucks himself in the pits, so that only puts one driver between Dylan and P1 Don, and that is MG Jason. So, what did Jason put in fuel? Oh, why did you do that? Why did you scare me and half the people listening? So MG Jason didn't bother taking on board fuel either. Dylan, I think, did. I think he did take on a little bit of fuel. Yeah, we're gaining a tow down here as well. Is he looking to make a move into the hairpin? Not quite. Backs off from that one. Oh, MG Jason's got himself on the grass. Oh, he's almost taken out P1 Dylan. He spun himself backwards. Fired himself into the wall. He's just got to be careful he doesn't come into contact with any other driver. Mocking Weeks comes through to take his original grid spot of 3rd position. So with Seth F1 coming in the pits and MG Jason just getting it all wrong there on the exit of the hairpin, that's allowed Mocking Weeks into 3rd. That's P1 drivers in 1, 2 and 3 at the minute. 35 minutes left of this race. MG Jason just spinning it round on the exit of that hairpin. A couple of wheels on the grass. Yeah, just trying to keep the power up and keep it, you know, keep it competitive. With P1 Dylan, just lost the rear end, spun it up. That's the result. Now in 4th position, Mocking Weeks 3rd. Jonesy is 2nd behind him as well. CJW back up into 6th after his stop. G7th, got a little bit of a penalty to lose 1.2 seconds back from CJ. CJ starting to get all touchy-feely with Jonesy X here as they head around through the chicane on lap 17. He's in a good position here, should get a good toe down towards this hairpin. Again, Jonesy hooks that inside line. I'm surprised CJ's not gone for a flick back down the inside. So Jonesy just plants it on the apex, nowhere for CJ to go, but CJ is literally pushing Jonesy around this middle section now. Tiny bit of a love tap between them. CJ just decides to back off, avoid any more contact and possible nudging off track. Closing up again down towards the Pentagon. Again, a tiny little love tap between the two. Slight variations in braking position. So now can CJ close up? Might just back out before they get into this final turn and just use the toe down the start-finish straight. Very wide, slips a gear as well, CJ. So closing in. Again, Jonesy's aware of him, chucks himself over to the inside. Does that allow CJ to take a run back down the inside into the chicane? No, it doesn't. Again, Jonesy slings himself over to that inside line. He's fully aware of the attacks coming from CJ behind. CJ's going to carry some good speed out of this turn though. Again, that's it. I think this is going to be it for CJ. He's going to be out to outbrake Jonesy, I think, into this turn. Jonesy just slings himself into the path of CJ there. Right, that's a couple of laps on board with CJ. He's not managed to make the move. Let's go see what's happening on the rest of the field. Right, P1 Don on those super softs. 4-second lead over teammate Dylan. He's also got 5.8 seconds over teammate Mocking Weeks. Himself back up into third, but Mocking's going to have to stop for a set of tyres pretty soon. There's a lot of wear on his super softs. MG Jason, after his hairpin incident, is now 2.4 seconds back in fourth position. Managed to drop the pressurising Jonesy. Jonesy's still under a bit of threat from CJ though in sixth. To get past him yet though. Seth F1's got himself back past ADG. Paddy Streams, evening. Yeah, P1, 1, 2 and 3, that's right. So ADG in seventh. White Shark Jim slots himself between Mocking Weeks and backspace. Mocking Weeks was just coming out of the pits there. Fresh set of super softs from Mocking. Drops himself back down into ninth, but now he can press again. Gets himself in front of backspace as well. He's looking to get past White Shark pretty early on. White Shark himself is looking to get past ADG. ADG trying to drop his penalty through there. But Mocking Weeks has put himself under pressure from backspace. Loses a position. So the driver's just starting to bunch up again. So Red GT 11th. Again, a bit of wear on those super softs. ESR Idle not that far off him either. 0.6 of a second. It's also out the super softs. Very similar wear between those two. Very similar fuel as well. A little bit more fuel on board for P1 Red GT. Run to fuel or tyres. Fuel is not on very hard, so they're not burning off too much. P1 Reg GT slings himself over to the left. He's got to be careful of the driver coming out of the pits. Backspace is back into the pits. Out now though. Comes out in 12th, P1 Gamer down 13th, Simo 14th, and Digits still 15th, and a long way off as well, 28.6 seconds, so pulled a bit of time back, but yeah, he's going to have a long, lonely race, is Elite Digits, unfortunately. So, Another 1.3 second lead, gained, sorry, in his lead between P1 Don and P1 Dylan. 5.4 second the gap. And then these two still pulling away from third place. 9 seconds between second and third. So Seth F1 back up into fourth. White Shark Jim, after his terrible incident, into fifth. Mocking Weeks back out. He's back out into sixth as well in the fresh set of softs, super softs, apologies. So should be able to start putting pressure on those drivers in front. CJW, he's got quite a lot of wear. Looks like he's coming in the pits now on lap 20. Jonesy and ADG all come in. Backspace comes around that final turn, stops out, so he's on a fresh set. So he's coming in a lap ago. So Gamer Dad 12th, Jonesy just coming out of the pits behind him. Simo 14th on that final turn. Yeah, a long way back for Art of Digits. Let's go and find a bit of a punch-up for you lot to watch. Might be this one, or it might be this one. CJ still trying to put the pressure on backspace. I don't want to miss the other fights as well, so here we go. Mocking Weeks putting all the pressure on White Shark Jim. So on a fresh set of racing super softs, White Shark Jim on a reasonably worn set of softs. So can Mocking Weeks use the toe down the start finish straight? Closing up just as they cross the start finish line. Backs out through there. Maybe looking to get another run down into the hairpin. Shows his nose into the chicane. Looking to get a good exit out here now. Oh, so White Shark Jim, again, he's done the same thing. He's got a rear end full of curb for White Shark, which is loosened that rear end. Mocking Weeks just sneaking through the chicane then. Now puts himself in the defensive position in fifth, blocking off any attack from White Shark Jim. So Seth in front on the soft tyre, 2 seconds in front of Mocking Weeks. MG Jason is only another 2.2 in front. Mocking Weeks on those fresh set of racing softs. Can really start piling pressure on these two. He's already pulled 3/10 out of test time. Half a second over White Shark Jim already. So Mocking Weeks on an absolute storm mid-session. Okay, Seth F1, MG Jason and White Shark Jim come in the pits. Mocking Weeks gets himself back through into third. So that again puts all the 3 P1 drivers into 1, 2 and 3. Seth back out the pits in fourth, so he's gone for super softs again. White Shark Jim back out on a set of softs. Who's the other driver? Was it Backspace? No, it's MG Jason, I think. So he's now out on a fresh set of softs, holding 7th on the tail of Backspace. Backspace going a little bit wide. So he came in a lap or 2 ago, did Backspace. MG Jason going for a late move down the inside. Ooh, the hairpin. Just backs out of that. Backspace holds on to that 6th place. So GT 8th. A little bit of a race of his own at the minute. 5 seconds in front to MG Jason. 2.8 back to Jonesy. CJW another 2.8. Sorry, another second behind Jonesy. And then ADG still tucked away in the background. Sitting in 11th for AD. 4.3 seconds back is ESR Idle. P1 Gamer Dad in 13th. Simo 14th. Here's ART Elite Digits. Well, he's closing the gap. 12.2 seconds. But P1 Don, race leader, is only a corner behind him. He's now got 7 seconds of comfort between himself and P1 Dylan. There's another 12.6 second blanket between himself and third place Mockin. Seth with a 3.3 back, putting in purple sectors though for Seth. P1 Don actually pulling himself back in, fastest lap of the race, 1:30.064. Lap 15 as well, it was ages ago. Why didn't anybody tell me? So a bad out of fuel now as well for P1 Don. He'll risk another lap on that. The answer being yes. And he's still gaining time over his teammate. He's actually losing a bit of time to his teammate behind. On the fresher tyre though. So when we see Dylan come in this lap, he's got a couple of laps of fuel on board. On that soft tyre as well, which is not running too bad if I'm being perfectly honest compared to the super softs. Very similar in pace and wear tonight. There's P1 Don's super softs versus P1 Dylan's softs. Pretty much nothing in it. Let's just stick with P1 Dom. We'll see whether he goes into the pits at the end of this lap. Again, they are quite short laps these. I don't think he's going to have enough fuel on board though. I'm lying, he's gone for another one. So running it literally dry for P1 Don. Lap time's not too bad. That last one was a 1:31.7. Slowly been losing the odd 10th. Pretty consistent 1:30 though for the majority of it. So P1 Dylan in second. Losing a couple more tenths from teammate behind. That gap now dipped below the 11-second mark. Again, yet to stop. So yet to stop, yet to take his second stop for P1 Dylan. Oh. 8 digits, getting a little bit deep into the hairpin behind P1 Dylan there. So Seth F1's actually closed that gap up on Monkey Weeks. Again, a set of super softs. Oh, and there it is, as simple as that. A wheel in that sand, spins him round. So a little pirouette for Seth F1. That allows White Shark Jim to come through. He's got MG Jason now 2.8 seconds back. So that was unfortunate for Seth F1. He was looking good for that 4th position. Now he's got 1.3 seconds to try and claim that 4th position back off of White Shark Jim. Is in the pits. Let's just see where drivers all end up. So Dylan comes through to take race lead. Elite Digits is trying to stick with him, even though he's in last. P1 Don gets back out the pits, takes on a fresh set of racing softs, and now holding half a tank of fuel. So Marking Weeks, still just under a quarter of a tank, not too much wear on those tyres, still holding third quite comfortably. 3.3 back from his teammate, just disappearing around the hairpin in the background on the last shots. White Shark Jim still 6.8 seconds back. We will expect to see him in for fuel as well. He'll pick up tyres while he's there. Seth F1 then after that little mistake, down in 5th. So MG Jason has closed that gap up. He's on the super soft tyre. And half a tank on board for him as well. So 1.2 seconds the gap between himself and Seth. So gap still at 1.2 as they head up this back straight. P1 Dylan, the race leader, in now. Allows the original race leader P1 Don to retake that position. Mocking Weeks comes through. Dylan back out the pits. So I think it's still P1 in 1, P1 in 2 and P1 in 3 at the minute. So Dylan in that third spot. He's now out on the super softs. Keeping a straight line, Dill, so he can start putting the pressure on his teammate in front. He's on a worn set of super softs, and he's got to just be a little bit careful of the attacks from White Shark Jim behind, only 2.3 back, but again will have to stop in a lap or two's time. Whether we see Seth F1 coming 17.5 minutes remaining, just over a quarter of a tank. He might have to do a little bit at the end. He's holding 5th at the minute. MG Jason then in 6th. 1.9 seconds back now. SGT 7th. Had a bit of a lonely race as Reg. Jonesy as well. Might all close back up when they come in the pits for their final stops. We'll see. It might spread the pack out even more. So Jonesy holding that 8th. Another 2.5 back. We've got CJW Racing under pressure from backspace again. So these two have had a good little punch up most of the race. Side by side as they head down towards turn 1. Backspace is going to have the advantage. CJ just tries to close the door on him. Nothing he can do though. Backspace was already there. Goes for another move back down the inside into the chicane. Side by side through the chicane as well. Great bit of driving from these two. Oh, Backspace doing well to keep that in a straight line. Again, still side by side through the chicane and on the way out. A little bit of door banging. Both of these drivers trying to get over to the inside, block the other one off. So it looks like Backspace is going to have the advantage. Oh, bumping and a barging. CJ not overly happy with that. Drops himself down into 10th position. So ESR idle in 11th. Again, a little bit boring one for him at the minute. 4, nearly 5 seconds in front to CJ and 3.5 back to Gamer Dad sitting in 12th at the minute. ADG 13th. It's gone for a set of soft a couple of laps ago. Mocking Weeks back in the pits now. Simo 14th. So he's now 33 seconds back from ADG. He's still got 11.5 over Elite Digits. We've got race leader P1 Don. Fresh-ish set of softs on board for him. Purple sectors as well. Cliche evening, brother. How you doing, mate? I'll be giving your channel a shout today. So yeah, P1 Don into top spot again after Dylan's late stop. He's into second. White Shark Jim comes through to take third, but he's going to have to stop at the end of this lap. Just under 15 minutes remaining. MG Jason has come through, a bit of wear on those super softs. 5 seconds back from White Shark, 16 seconds down from race leader. And then Bocky Weeks, who's just come in for his final stop, I believe it's his final stop. He's gone for a set of softs. And just under half a tank. No worries, no worries. If you get a load of boys from Amigos race team, they might, probably from this one. This is Amigos racing now, cliche. So let's keep our eye on Mocking Weeks come the end of this race. 1.5 seconds the gap between himself and MG Jason. 13, just under 14 minutes remaining. White Shark Jib in the pits now. So there's a position up, unless White Shark Jib can get back out. So Mocking back up into fourth, MG Jason third. Seth F1's actually got himself back past White Shark Jim during that pit stop. So Mocking Week's got the gap down to less than a second between himself and MG Jason. That's what MG Jason can see, that big red Porsche slowly closing in. Gap now 1.3 second. Taking a tenth out of MG Jason through the hairpin. Kept consistent through that last little section, down towards this Pentagon section. Again, just keeps that gap consistent between himself and Mocking Weeks. Mocking Weeks does chop a tenth or two out of him through there. Gap down to less than a second now as they run up this back straight. Again, closing in and braking. Jason's coming in the pits. So that is going to allow Mocking Weeks back up into third. God damn it. Hold on, people. Bit of cigarette surgery going on here. Roach fell out. So we're as we were, P1 Don, P1 Dylan and Mocking Weeks, the top three, all driving for team P1RC. Seth F1 driving for Amigos in fourth at the minute. Will he have enough fuel on board to last him? He's got plenty of tyres on, I think. Whether he's got enough fuel on. White Shark Jim, he'll be piling the pressure on. He's just stopped, fresh set of racing softs. MG Jason just been in the pits as well, fresh set of super softs for him. So the two MRC drivers looking to put the pressure on the Amigos race team driver in front. Maybe a little bit too far back now to stop piling the pressure on the top three, but anything could happen yet. So backspace in seventh. 6.97 seconds back for Team Amigos. P1RC GT got himself up into eighth. Again, a little bit of a lonely race for him at the minute. Jonesy sitting in ninth position. 10th for ESR Idle. So pack stretching out a little bit. There is only one or two little fights kicking off on this racetrack right now. CJW, late stop for him on the softs into 11th. 10.5 minutes remaining for CJ to try and make anything of this. ADG also sitting in 12th. He's got enough fuel on. His tyres are looking a little bit beaten up though come the end of this one. Gamer Dad got himself up another position into 13th. Simo 14th. And Elite Digits still rolling in 15th. He was unfortunate for Elite Digits. Just got himself a bit wrong into the Pentagon. Spun it round, nothing he could do, it was just a passenger from that point. And then when he did finally get it in a straight line, put the power down a little bit too much and spun the back end up, and yeah, that was him. Pirouettes again. And another visit to the wall. So I lost an awful lot of time. But the P1 boys, P1 Don and P1 Dylan, have had a perfect race tonight. Mocking weeks actually as well. They did qualify in these positions. Top 3. And they're looking to bring it home top 3 as well. Have they got enough fuel and tyres? Quarter of a tank. Yeah, half decent set of softs. Dylan over quarter of a tank. Reasonably decent set of super softs. 9 minutes remaining. Mocking weeks. Fresh set of super softs. Probably plenty of fuel on board. Looking good for the P1 boys for top 3 spots. So 4th, Seth F1, highest placed Amigos race team driver at the minute, under a bit of pressure from White Shark Jim and MG Jason. That's the wrong button. That's the button you want. Still putting in purple sectors though. Is Seth F1. He has got the attacking MRC drivers behind of White Shark Jim and MG Jason. Art of backspace just in the background there, coming around that turn. All the drivers kicking up a bit of sand through there. Another little purple sector for Seth F1. Might have to stay on board with this, see if he puts in a fastest lap of the race. So he's out of the Pentagon, back up the hill. He's managed to pull a little bit of a gap between himself and White Shark Jim. Closing up under braking though. He's run it wide, as has MG Jason. So they will close up a little bit down this start-finish straight. Unfortunately not a fastest lap on board with Seth F1. May close up into the chicane as well. We have been on board for pretty much a lap. Got MG Jason looking to make a move on White Shark Jim down the inside into the chicane. Through he goes. Teammates being respectful, giving each other plenty of room. There's those naughty curbs. You can see it's just unsettled. Seth F1 we're on board with, and he saw MG Jason's car get lifted off the ground through there as well. Alright, let's come out of that view. So yes, MG Jason getting himself past White Shark Jim into 5th. Those fresher tyres doing the job. Slightly worn on White Shark Jim's. Slightly less sticky compound as well. GT, nothing to report. He's just been plodding it around all on his own most of the race. A bit of a battle between, was it himself, CJ, Jonesy, ART backspace. I think those 4 had a bit of a punch up halfway through, well, near the middle of near the start of the end of the first stint ish, somewhere around there. So Jonesy 8th, coming under a bit of pressure from teammate backspace. Those super softs as well. It's Jonesy on. He's on super softs also, a couple of laps older. So you might see onto backspace able to make a move. We'll see. ESR idle in 10th position for Team MRC. I believe a late addition to this race, so going in a bit blind for some of the MRC drivers. CJW Racing being one of those as well. I believe ADG was a last minute addition. P1 Gamer Dad coming under pressure from the man himself, ADG. Has he just managed to get himself past? Looking to go down the inside of the hairpin though, ADG. P1 Gamer Dad comes back at him on the apex. So almost side by side through that little complex. So ADG gets himself back up into 12th. Game Dad looking to get back past though pretty quick. He's in a good position as they head up the back straight. ADG not going too defensive. I think Game Dad had plenty of opportunity to sling it down the inside there. But he's looking to run around the outside. Possibly going for the cut back down the inside, carry that extra speed. He hasn't just got the advantage into turn 1. ADG just has to slot himself back into 13th. Still on between these two. He's not going to let that one go so easily. Launch his car over Gamer Dad's. As short a line as possible, trying to take, but yeah, can unsettle the car on those big curbs. Gamer Dad having to go defensive from the attacks of ADG down into the hairpin. Yeah, so he manages to hold on to that position. Just ADG's got a great run out though. He's looking to get the position back. Unfortunately, not carrying enough speed through that little chicane section. Gamer Dad gets himself back up into 12th and ADG 13th still. It's not over between those two by any stretch. 3 minutes left of this race. P1 Don still leading 8.4 seconds. He will be running to the end now. Half one set of softs. About an eighth of a tank on board. 7.5 seconds over teammate P1 Dylan. Also very similar on fuel, a bit more wear on those super softs now. You can see just trying to loosen the rear end as he comes through there. Mocking Weeks holding on to 3rd position. He's still got 2.4 seconds over MG Jason. Only a couple of laps remaining as well. Not that much wear on those soft tyres. Plenty of fuel to go to the end of this race. MG Jason, MG Jason might have to come in for fuel. It's going to be a risky one for him. He's under a little bit of threat from White Shark Jim. He's only a second back. MG Jason, very similar on fuel, these two. White Shark Jim and MG Jason. It's going to be a tough call. Do they come in the pits? Do they risk running out of fuel on the very last lap? Jason actually getting in fastest lap of the race, 1:29.980 on lap 33. So he's going to stop out, as is White Shark Jim. Minute 30 remaining, that is literally a lap. You will see some of the other drivers get a lap in, but those boys look like they've played it to a T. Comfortable for the P1 drivers. Mocking Weeks actually losing a bit of time to MG Jason. Still White Shark Jim just lurking in the background. Again, they've just got to be so careful. I thought White Shark Jim had got less fuel on board, but it's going to be so close if these boys have to do another lap. Between Mocking and MG Jason, 1.9 seconds. Again, White Shark just in the background. So 15 seconds, 14. Will they have to do another lap, or will they park it on the line so they haven't? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. MG Jason's got to do another lap with no fuel. White Shark Jim slammed the brakes on prior to coming across the line, so he's the first of the finishers, comes home in 5th position. Got Seth F1, great drive from Seth, coming home in 6th, the highest placed of the Amigos drivers. Reg GT, great big handbrake across the line from him for 7th. Wiggle across the line for Backspace in 8th. Jonesy comes home in 9th. ESR idle, just keeping 10th position from a handbrake in CJW in 11th. P1 Gamer Dad comes home 12th. AGG 13th. Simo 14th. Art of Digits 15th. Just wait for the leaders to come through, but MG Jason has got no fuel on, so maybe waiting a while. So a little flash of the lights for P1 Don as we come to this back straight. He's had a comfortable, clean race tonight, has P1 Don and P1 Dylan. Very happy, very confident, showing the pit crew his appreciation. His teammate in the background doing the same thing. Almost coming across the line in formation. P1 Don first, then P1 Dylan second. Mocking Weeks comes home third. And MG Jason, we have to watch poorly trickle up the back straight. No fuel on. Very, very lucky. Yeah, very lucky that a couple of these other drivers didn't get across the line. White Shark Jim, the pair of you would have been trickling across the line. White Shark Jim out of fuel. Slowly but surely, MG Jason is going to come across the line at some point this evening before the timer ticks down. So he takes the final position of the evening, comes home in 4th position. Some great racing tonight, some real clean, respectful stuff. That's what we want to see. So yes, the Amigos race team coming out of nowhere. Keeping it clean, maybe not getting the results they wanted tonight, but they've had some good racing, I'm sure. I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of chat kicking off in all sorts of chat groups as well. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a bit more of the Amigos race team. We'll see what happens. I'm sure they'll be looking to set up a couple more TVTs or something like that. CJ was pushed to pass allowed. Yeah, I saw a couple of times, mate. I did see a couple of times. I did see Seth give you a position back, though. I will say that. Okay, so Baggy, he's a good lad, and he's chucked the points up for us already. So P1RC taking the team win with 73 points. MRC taking 32 points. Is that 32? Yeah. And ART taking 20 points, unfortunately. So yeah, maybe not the results they wanted, but some pretty clean racing nonetheless. P1 did dominate there, but yeah, well done all. Some good racing. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, a little bit of bumpy bargy by the look of it, but yes, hopefully we'll see a bit more of the Amigos race team. You never know. I think some of the guys have raced against them here and there, but that's the first I've seen of any of them. A little bit bumpy bargy. Maybe not quite as sort of, you know, stuck in their ways like the older teams. There we go. Yeah, so the MRC and the P1RC boys, quite established teams. A lot of long-standing rules. You know, we try and keep it as clean as possible. That's the whole point. These races were put together. These leagues were put together to get ourselves out of the chaos of the dailies, which is just a smash fest basically. So yeah, these lobbies were created and these groups were created to try and drag people away from that. We don't like to see bumpy, bargy, smashy. That's not how racing is. I wouldn't be happy if it was happening to me, and I'm sure you won't be happy if it was happening to you. Either way, It's done now. Booted out the lobby. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that was the team versus team event. It was Amigo Race Team versus P1RC versus MRC. So P1 Race Community and Mature Racing Club. Some good racing. A little bit bumpy bargy, like I say, but P1RC overall taking the win, 72 points. 73 points, sorry. MRC coming home second with 32 points, and Amigos Race Team coming home third with 20 points. Other than that, what we've got coming up tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, we've got round 2 of the Super Formulas with the P1 boys. So you'll see some more of these guys tomorrow night. 8:30 on Monday, we've got round 9 of the Mini Cooper Cup. Come and check that out. Another team versus team on Tuesday. I forget what time that is. Could be 8:30, could be 9 o'clock. I'll let you know either tomorrow or Sunday. There's plenty of posts up about it, I'm sure. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, 8:30 again, back for the Gr3 League. The Team Oliver Racing, hosted by MRC. Thursday, the final round of the Battle of the Groups. So that's been 7 different sim racing groups, all entered pairs of drivers. And they've been battling it out for a 5-week series. So the finals on Thursday of that. And then, yeah, back for next Sunday. Another round of the P1RC's Super Formula League. Other than that, I hope you like what you watched. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's darksmoka. I'm out of here.